Hey everyone, I hope you're having an amazing day. So today we will be talking about custom objects and the standard objects, right? So in Salesforce, right, when you talk about different objects, right, accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities, these are standard object, out of box, but sometimes you might need to create different objects based on the requirement. For instance, let's say you would like to have a property management object, right, which tracks the property name and the location and the price it's sold and probably date as well, right? So Salesforce don't have that option out of box. So to do that, you have to create a custom object. Now, there are two ways you can do this. One is via code, which is pretty much not advisable, and another one is using point and click option, which is the most preferred way and often commonly done by many Salesforce users and developers and whatnot. Right, so let's dive in. So as usual, you need to log into your org. So I have logged into my free developer org. You can use any org you want, but if you want to do hands-on, please log into your developer free org. So you'll see I'm in the setup. So the way you reach setup is by going to this gear icon and click on setup. It will take you to this landing page, right? Now let's go to object manager, so you can see object manager here, or if you can, another way you can reach here is by typing object just object manager. It will take you to here. If you click here, it will take you to object manager, right? Now you can see here that there are a lot of objects here, accounts, activities. These are standard objects because there is no tick box next to custom, right, except one beer sold, which is some random objects being created. So let's dive into each one of the standard objects, and then we will create a new custom object just to make you understand the possibilities and the things you can do in Salesforce around objects, right? So let's go to custom objects, right? Now, every object, so if you are from a database or developer background, objects are more like tables in a database, right? And the fields are fields like columns, of a table, right? Account, right? Account is think of account like an account table. That's what we call it as an object here. And Salesforce use SQL query to fetch the data from Salesforce object, right? So they are like S objects, what we call. So every object has fields, right? So like account will have account name, account creation date, account owner, contacts, account address, right? So the way you find out the fields is by going to the fields and relationship, and here you can see the different accounts fields name. Let's say you would like to find address, right? To see if there is any such thing called address in the field section, right? So either you can scroll down, which is a bit labor intensive process, because imagine if you have thousands of fields, so you will have to scroll down, and it's annoying, right? The easiest way is to do a quick find. So you go here, say if I have an address, if you type, so we got two addresses. One is the billing address and one is the shipping address, right? So or you can, let's say if you wanted to find name, you can do that as well. So we have an account name. So if you dive into account name, you can see that it's a data type name and field usage and all kind of stuff you can see here, right? And you can create a validation rule. I won't talk about that. That's a bit advanced topic, creating a validation rules and triggers and whatnot. And page layout we'll talk about in a minute. I wanted to give you a brief overview about what page layout means so that you get an understanding. But we won't go deep into it, right? Because we need to cover custom object as well today. Okay, so these are the fields. So fields can be of different types, right? So you can add a new field to a standard object if you want, right? So for instance, like let's say I would like to add a field called an account type, right? Let's see first of all if we have a type. So if not, let's say, okay, we have a type, right? So that's not a good idea. Let's say, what shall we add? Okay, let's say we add something called rating. Okay, rating date, right? The day the rating has been done, right? Just a random field. So we are talking about the rating date. So it means when a user changes the rating on an account, so the date get updated using a trigger. But we won't cover the trigger, but I'll just show you how to create a field called a rating date, which is of date type. So the way you do it is by going to new, and there will be something called date, or date time, or date, whichever you wanted. Let's say if you wanted to capture time, you choose this one. If not, you just select the date. You see there are different data types we have. We can have auto number, which automatically generates it for you, formula where you can customize it, using different equations. We will cover that. It's in a later section when we talk about advanced Salesforce concept like triggers, validation rules, right? And roll-up summary, we have lookup relationship. This one's I will cover next time, but detailed relationships between two objects, right? And then we have email fields, we have numbers, we have text field, we have phone numbers, we have longer text, we have time. We have pretty much most of this data types here, and we even have currency and checkbox as well, right? Okay, so let's go click on next. And we'll just give a name. So we will have rating date, right? And the field name should it's just an field name internal reference. It's just an API name. It should be unique. You can put the help text. So this is a rating. This is a day. Blah blah. Just rating date, whatever, right? And if you want this field to be mandatory, you can take this, right? Required. So that means that if you, for some reason, whatever reason, if you decide not to populate this field, you can't save that account record. Salesforce will complain, saying, please fill the mandatory field, which is this, right? So, yeah, so it makes it pretty flexible, right? So the profile where you want this specific fields to be visible. If you remember that we talked about field level security, so this is one of the stuff. So if you don't want, say, for integration user for this fields to be visible, so you can untick it so it will be invisible. So right, so click on next. So what all the page layouts you want this to be included, so you can see, we can pick and choose. I will cover page layout in a minute, right? For now, I'm gonna pick up all of it, so I click save. Right, so we have created a field, and we have called rating. There you go, rating date. So that is the custom field I've created. It's not an out-of-box field, so I've added a custom field to a standard object, right? So you can customize a standard object. You can add more fields based on your requirement and business, requirement and business needs. Okay, so when you create these fields, right, and to make this field visible on the page what I mentioned here, I'll show you what I meant by that. Just copy here, and probably I'll type. And you can let's go to account. So let's pick up one account. So when I talk about the page layout, this is what I mentioned about page layout, like detailed layout, you have news, and you have related. So this is a part of a page layout. This is configurable. The fields, the position of the fields, all kind of stuff here. It's configured by page layout. So the way you can do that is by going to page layout section here, right? And I presume this is the one. Let's have a look. So we have created a field, right? So let's go to rating data, and we have somewhere called rating date, right? So let's go here and let's see if we have this field. There you are. We have a rating date here. So you could just go here, and as you can see, it's a date field. So, and if I made it mandatory, and if you don't fill it, it won't let you save it. So that's how the fields are populated on a Salesforce page using a page layout, and you can add as many you can add different fields you like based on a business needs. So yeah. This feature is very handy, and you can do pretty much a lot of things with the page layout. You can drag and drop the fields. Let's say I want account owner to move to here. I can do that. I can save it, so the account owner will move to the right hand side. It's pretty flexible. You can do a lot of options here, right? So I won't go much detail into the page layout today. Just wanted to show you guys how the page layout looks and the significance of the page layout, and how the field positioning can be changed, how the field can be made visible or invisible on a page layout, kind of things, right? Okay, so I'll cancel this option for now. And so we have talked about standard objects now, right? Now let's talk about a custom object. So as I mentioned that we don't have something called property management object, right? I would like to have a property management object where I can track about the property name, right? Probably I can fill in the address and the date it's been sold and the amount it's been sold. Like 4 fields I need, right? Okay, so let's get started. The way you create a custom object, you need to go back to Object Manager. So the root of the Object Manager is the way you go here by going to Object Manager, and there is something called Create, right? So we have an option called Create Object from Spreadsheet. So we're not bothered about Excel, creating an object from Excel or Spreadsheet. So let's do the simple one, Create Custom Object. And let's name it as Property Management, right? This will be our object name. And so I want like this option to be visible in reports. You can report on that. You can allow activities. You can do field tracking, chatter groups, and so keep this options as default, and allow search. I want this object to be visible on the search, and add nodes and launch customs, right? And click on save. Okay, sorry, I need to add it as a plural. I'll just put it as S and save. Right, so now it's another process where it lets you choose your tab style, the color, and whatnot, right? Okay, so let's go to a tab style. You can choose any color you want. I mean, really. So just gonna go with helicopter, whatever. And description. This is a property management object. This is a property management object. Sorry. Click on next. And you can make it default on for every you remember I talked about default off, default on, and tab hidden, right? I've demonstrated in my previous lectures what's the difference between, and if you haven't watched that, please, I would encourage you to please go and check it out. It's pretty. So I would make it default on so that it would be visible. So let's go here and go next, and I would like to be included in every add to custom apps. So I would like to add this object to sales and all the objects. You remember the apps, right? An app is a collection of objects and the screens, right? So an object can be account object, can be contact object. So what he's saying is that do you allow, say for instance, a sales object to have the property management object on it, right? So that's what I'm saying, yes. So include in the tab. So save. Now we have created a pretty good, nice, amazing property management object, but we don't have any fields here. Only field you have the owner and the name. So let's say I want to add a new field called property. Let's create a for field anyways, what we talked about. Let's say we'll call it as property. Property name, and help text is just this is property name. So what happens is that when you hover over the field, it shows you the help as a hint. So to indicate what exactly this means, right? Length, I would say I want to put 100, right? And always require value in the field. Yes, I would like and do not allow duplicate values if you do not want a unique. If you do not want a duplicate, so you can have it as text, but I will. I'm not going to bother. And next, save, right? So we have decided we need a property name, address, right? So for address, we need a text area long, and so we will now address, right? And just whatever the length. So this is the address field, and I'll make sure it's next. So I'm just putting a visibility line. So visibility lines, the number of lines you can see on the box at the same time, right? So we need a price, right? Oh, sorry, not here, mistake. So go to new again. So now price is a currency field, right? Because it's an amount field. So what is it relates to? Currency. So go to currency and next. It's amazing this, you can see how powerful Salesforce is. You don't have to write any code. So we are doing a custom development. This is a customization what we're doing. And it's so simple, you can do with point and click. You can do that using code, but it's why would you want to do it when you can do it with the point and click, right? And this is property price. This is a property. Right. So decimal place. Let's say I want it to 2 places because it could be sold for like what 1,050 cents. Doesn't make sense, right? But yeah, let's have decimal place anyways. Okay. Some of the so 16 probably, right? Okay, so the same options pretty much. It automatically creates you a layout for you. So saying that, okay, so and now what we need one more option, right? So we need a property name. We got a price, we got an address, right? The date sold, right? So we need a date field. Okay, and next, selling date. And field name, it's the same. So this is a selling date. Selling date, we obviously need this date, right? So we make it mandatory. Click on next. This is the same blah blah option. So it means to say that do you agree to this to be part of every profile, you can say yes. And so, and property management, this is just layout, just make it save. Okay, so we have created that, the greatest property management object in the world. Now let's go back to our sales app. So the way you go here, just type sales. Let's see if we can find the property management we have created. That's interesting. We can find it here, right? What happened? So let's check it out in the more. There you are. This bad boy is hiding here. So let's go to property management. So as you can see, we got no information. This is a new object, right? So let's create a new. Let's say I bought a property in Wellington. So this is called Wellington property, and property name. You can see that the help text, if you remember. So as you can hover over, you can see that as a property management name, you can put it as one, right? So property name is the Wellington name. Address, say, let's say I'm not filling any address here. Price, 500, 5,000. Okay, so 500 selling date. Let's say I sold it today, right? Okay, so I thought, oh, it's pretty good. I don't want it to add an address. Let's see what happens. Right, sorry, address was not mandatory, so it will let you save without address, so which is great. So let's say test address. So let's say I decided not to go for a selling date, right? Let's see what happens. See, this is what you get, because you can see all this red dot next to, right? An asterisk, I presume. Yeah, an asterisk next to. So this means that these are mandatory fields. So I have to probably add a date here, and you can go to new, and you can save. Right. So there you are, and you go to property management. So there you are. You have a property management here, but you know this list view looks yucky. Let's see if we can see anything. I can see all. Yeah, still is not pretty. So let's create a custom list here. Go to new, and so prop management. Let's say all user can say this view. And you can add select fields to display. So I wanted to see, I don't want a property. Yeah, I want a property no, sorry, I don't want property management name. I want to see address. I wanted to see property name, and I want to see the price, right, and the selling date. So, and oh well, oh, like, can I move this at the top? Or sorry, the property name? Sure, you can. So move it here. And can I move the address to the bottom? Yeah, sure you can. There you go. And there you go. So I have a better looking list. You know, you can customize a lot of things, right, in Salesforce. These are customization. Not a developer level customization where you don't need to use a code, but if you're aiming for an app builder certification, probably, you know, you will need to know how to build a Lightning app without code, using formulas and that kind of stuff. We will cover that in the later section to show how to build a Lightning app, right? And yeah, this is. But I will give you just a rundown about what I'm talking about. So let's go to this gear icon, and let's go to edit object. Sorry, not this one. I mean dashboard. Probably I can. Sorry, that's not the one. Let's text you here. my bad. I have to be inside an object just to show you what I meant by that. So this, we are in account, right? We are in a this is as I said, most of the things here are controlled by page layout, but certain things can be controlled by other means. So what I mean by is that, so we are in a sharing account, and let's say if I wanted to change certain options like this tab to customize something at the top and bottom, right? In, say for instance, the related list. So what we can do, we can go to edit page, and yeah, so this is something what I call by Lightning App Builder. And so as you can see that I don't need this. I don't, if I, let's say if I don't want this sharing account at the top, right? And instead I would like say a chatter feed. If I can draw it, right? I want a chatter feed at the top for whatever reason, you know. And let's say no, I don't want the chatter feed. I changed my mind, so I would put activities at the sorry, I put an activity at the top, and I say, okay, this is fine. For whatever reason, I want my account to look the same, so I'll activate it, and I'll just make it as a assign as a default org. Would you like to have this option available for desktop, phone, and both? So I'll just keep it to desktop. We don't want mobile. I'll save it, and we will save it again. And what we're gonna do, we're just gonna go here, right? And so Salesforce has a mobile app, right? So which is very handy, used for sysadmins. So you can that's for and for a normal user as well, you know, where you can log into your org and do other stuff, right? I will talk about that later videos, so it's more to cover. Okay, so let's go to sharing count. So now you can see that my look and feel changed, right? So this has moved here, which is kind of weird, but just wanted to show you guys the point, what I'm trying to make, that we can customize this using Lightning App Builder. We don't have to use code. So I don't want it to go detail into this. I don't want it to overwhelm you guys. I'm sorry if I did. This is the main concept which I wanted to cover today. It's the difference between a standard object and a custom object, right? So standard object, out of box, opportunities, leads, accounts, contact. A custom object, let's say a property management, which we've created, right? And you can add custom fields to a standard object. You can add custom fields to custom objects, right? And you can change the look and feel of a page layout, using the page layout options. You can make a field visible or invisible. You can make a field required or not required. Make a field unique or not unique. You can do a lot of options using, field settings and whatnot. And I've also shown you a glimpse of Lightning App Builder, where you can drag and drop, certain components onto the canvas and remove the components from a canvas. And as you've seen, I've demonstrated how accounts can be customized, right? So yeah, so this is all I wanted to cover today. I hope you guys find this session useful. Salesforce is, it's huge, a lot of things you can cover, but we can go on endlessly talking about objects. And we have object schema builder. I will show you object schema builder next time. It's very handy, very powerful. You can, it shows you what all the required fields and whatnot, right? And yeah, so that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. Hey guys, one thing, if you like my channel, please subscribe. I usually don't say this. I'm not a marketing or sales guy because I don't honestly care about selling part of stuff. But the only reason I wanted to make this video just to educate you guys, because There are a lot of videos which helped me when I started on Salesforce. I'm grateful to them. So I thought if I can cover more and more based on my daily experience, so it can help you in the long run. So yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much for your time today. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye.